everyone, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. Today I'm going to be creating this pretty card for you using some gorgeous holiday wishes products, including the gorgeous Lovely Layers candy cane set. I'm also going to be coordinating that with the Snowflakes background stencil. Now the candy canes do come with this card that explains how you can go ahead and assemble these die cut pieces. It's very easy. There's also a little code here that you can scan with your phone for inspiration over in the Honeybee shop. So this is a really super easy die set that you can use to create some really gorgeous different elements for your projects. The Snowflakes background stencil set is a set of 2 stencils that do layer together, or you can use them individually. These, of course, are clear, which makes them super easy to work with, and I love the quality of the stencils from Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to start my process here today by doing a little bit of the Distress or Ranger texture paste. This is the opaque texture paste through one of the layering stencils from that Snowflakes background set. This is the layer that has the smaller snowflakes, and I'm actually going to do this to 4 panels for my A2 size card. There you can just see how lovely that texture is on that cardstock. Now that that's dried, I'm going to put that into my splat box, and I'm going to use the Sugary Gumdrops Mica stain from Ranger. I've added the gumdrops to the paper, and then I added a little bit of water and then a little bit more of the mica stain. Now I'm going to go ahead and dry that, and it's just going to create the most beautiful pink panel. Now I'm going to use my next color of mica stain here. This one is the Yuletide. This is just a most beautiful color of red. Again, using the mica stain and water to create this background, and you can just see that gorgeous texture from that opaque texture paste in the background as well. Now for this one here, I'm going to go in again with my water and with some green. This one is called Holly Branch. And I love how when these dry, they're just the most beautiful, shiny piece of cardstock that you can then just go ahead and die cut from or use as a background, whatever you choose. Now my last color is the Juniper Berry. I think this might be my all-time favorite color of mica stain. It's just so beautiful. And again, just going in with some water and the mica stain onto that panel, and then I'll dry it. And then I've got my 4 beautiful panels that I can use to die cut from. So I'm going to just go ahead and take the dies from the Lovely Layers candy cane die set and die cut out some white candy cane bases. And then I've got a blue and pink candy cane. And then of course I have the other elements from that die set, including some holly leaves and some pine branches, some holly berries, and then that really pretty little pink bow. I'm also going to coordinate my project with the Holly Jolly background stamp. This was a release last Christmas, and it's one of my favorites in my Honeybee background stamp stash. I'm going to go ahead with my Honeybee Stamps clear embossing ink and ink up that stamp, and I'll stamp it out onto my A2 size piece of cardstock in my Misty. Sorry, I'm zoomed in a little bit too tight here, but I think you can get the idea of what I'm doing here. I'm going to just go ahead and stamp that out. And now I'm using some Wow Clear Sparkle embossing powder to create a really shiny and sparkly background. Now you can't really read the text here. You can just tell that there's some sort of patterned texture in the background, and I'm totally fine with that. I wanted this to be just a really pretty neutral background, but you can imagine if you used a colored embossing powder or even some black, I think black ink with a clear embossing powder over top to make this text stand out a little bit, but I just wanted it to be really subtle in the background. Now I also decided to use my Snowflakes 3D embossing folder to emboss that panel as well. So in the background now we just have that beautiful sparkling texture of that text, and I don't know if you can really see it well on camera, but it's really pretty. And then we have those snowflakes that are embossed. Now I've just taken that into my trimmer and sized it down just slightly smaller than my A2 size top folding card base. I'm going to use my Honeybee liquid glue to go ahead and glue that down onto my A2 size card base. So I'll just go ahead and add that liquid adhesive, and then I'll just center this onto my card base. And now I'm going to start to assemble my candy canes. So I'm going to start off here with that red one from the Yuletide mica stain. And I'm going to just do just this one single. So you can actually coordinate these dies so that I could have actually layered the blue over top of the red and had a red and blue striped candy cane. But I'm just going to do a single layer over top of these so that I've got a red one and a blue one. I remember blue candy canes from when I was a kid, and that was really what I was thinking about when I was making these. The blueberry candy canes were always my favorite, and this totally reminds me of those candy canes. I think you can obviously still get the blueberry candy canes now, but yeah, I was feeling a little bit nostalgic when I was choosing my colors for my candy canes for sure. Now I'm going to just add a little bit of foam adhesive onto the back of each of those two candy canes just to give them a little bit of dimension on my card front. And I'm just going to put them together so that they do have that little bit of a crisscross at the bottom. Now, my apologies if you can hear some hammering in the background. My husband is working out in our garage, which is right next to my craft space, and I think I am assuming you maybe can hear that, so I do apologize if you can hear that. So I'm going to just go ahead and add the holly leaf on with a little bit of foam adhesive here. And you can probably see just how much detail the dies create on those holly leaves. I just absolutely love that, and I just think they look so realistic. I do really love that shine of that mica stain too for that color that I used there called Holly Branch. I think it's really pretty. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the spruce bough sprigs in behind the holly leaves just to give that extra little layer of texture. The little holly berries I'm going to pop up on some foam adhesive and add to the holly leaves. And then I'm just going to use my liquid adhesive to pop that pretty little pink bow just in the center. Now there is a die that you can use to die cut out the center or the knot of the bow. I decided that I was going to use a hole punch or a circle punch because I wanted to get more of that texture from the stenciling on that area. Now I am going to use the gorgeous Holiday Wishes pearls for the center of that bow in red, and then I'm going to use the Let It Snow sentiment set for my sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and ink that up with black ink and then stamp that out into the center of my card for my sentiment for my project today. So now you can just see all of the really pretty texture and color. I really love the mica stains for die cutting. I just think that they just make a really beautiful project. Friends, I've linked up in the description box below to all of the products that I've used today. Thank you so much for joining me and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.